Now if there was a Big Bang, that was the Big Bang. That by his command, from the darkness, from the mass of what we call outer space, where there was no life, where there was no order, where there were no human beings, that creator brought the gases, brought the masses, brought them together, caused the explosion. And through that explosion, our planetary system came into being, with the sun as its gravitational center. That sun giving the heat, providing the gravity, and carrying the entire family with it in its own orbit within the Milky Way galaxy itself. And the Milky Way galaxy itself only being a cluster of stars among another nebula. And that nebula itself being among billions of clusters of nebula. Yet, on our Earth is the only planet where this kind of life has been discovered. We don't know that there are any other beings that have the intelligence, that can make choices, that can compute, that can manipulate, that can calculate. We don't know of any other beings in the whole heavens and earth except on the earth. And isn't it fantastic that the earth is the third planet from the sun? Had it been the second planet, it would be too hot for life. Had it been the fourth planet, it would be too cold. So Tabarakallah, blessed be the Creator, who knows in proportion, who knows and who has settled and determined the earth and given it its ecosystems in which our life has evolved out of it. So he gave this earth its ecosystems. So he gave this earth a sky, acting as it were a canopy to protect it from stars and missiles from falling inside to kill it and destroy it. And so he gave this earth a carpet with mountains and streams, and placed upon that earth mountains to give it the balance it needs. And he gave that earth all kinds of vegetation. And he gave that earth the majority of its surface water, so that it had life to generate other forms of life. And inside those oceans he placed countless forms of life that we have yet to discover. And he placed inside those mountains gold, ore, diamonds, all kinds of things from which we gain our benefit from. And he placed inside the atmosphere itself what we need just to breathe and live. And from the dirt of the earth, he created the human beings after he created all the other forms of life. This is the decree that has been made in the Quran that was revealed 1424 years ago. This is the voice of the Creator of the heavens and the earth giving you and I some details. And he revealed this to his servant, his illiterate servant, born in the desert 1424 years ago.
His command is only when he intends a thing that he says to it, be, and it is. So exalted is he in whose hand is the realm of all things, and to Him you will be returned. They have not appraised Allah with true appraisal, while the earth entirely will be within His grip on the day of resurrection, and the heavens will be folded in His right hand. Exalted is He, and high above what they associate with Him.
All the praise is for Allah, who is the author of all existence and the most generous to His creation, while He is also the all-compelling. He is the only one worthy of our worship, having no partners, no associates, no sons, no daughters, no one whom He must consult, and no one or anything which has any comparison with Him. All the praise is for Allah, who is the King of all who claim sovereignty, the only one who has the right to legislate for His creatures. He is the giver of life. He is the causer of death, while death has no effect upon Him, because He is the ever-living, the self-subsisting, the eternal and the only absolute. All the praise is for Allah, who has power over all things, and there is in reality no power and no strength, no influence to cause benefit or detriment except through Him. It is He who created this complex world, the seen and the unseen, the evident and the speculative, the earth and all that is on it, and everything that is in it. It is He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the glorious and the mighty, the powerful, who created the heavens that are near and far, the atmosphere and the hemisphere, the stratosphere, the outer space of stars, planets and galaxies. It is He who created all of this in detail and diversity. It is He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the glorious and the mighty and the powerful, who created and determined all at once, with no pause between His word be and it is, the heavens, the earth, the angels, the jinn, the men, the beasts, the birds, the insects, the fish in the sea, of every species and kind, all created simply by His command. It is He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created the life and mandated death in order to see which of His creatures among the human beings that He has given volition, that He has given a choice to, would be the best in their conduct and their worship. It is He, Allah, the glorious and the powerful, who sent into this world at different times and places messengers, peace and blessings be upon them all, who were gifted with divine scriptures, the highest of morals, by which to guide and educate the human beings to a life which is legislated for them and fulfills their very purpose. It is He who sent His messengers and prophets, alayhimus salam, with the common message of strict monotheism, which simply means that there's absolutely no one worthy of worship, no one worthy of our obedience except the Almighty, the One, the Absolute, and who has no partners. It is He, that majestic, powerful Creator, who gave the human beings intellect, culture, civilization, temporary power, passing pleasures and possessions. Yet He has subjected all who are on this playing field that we call life with the mandate of death. A fact which humbles the arrogant the wealthy, the rebellious, the disbeliever, the doubter, the ungrateful, the corrupt, the ignorant, the deviant, without exception. It is this fact that we need to ponder upon in order to reconcile truth from falsehood, right from wrong, the true vision from the apparent mirage of life. Fortunate are those who understand the fleeting value of this world, the trauma and the swiftness of death that comes without any announcement, the promise and the assurity of the grave and the resurrection, the sorting out, the ensuing judgment, and the determination for the final and permanent destinations of paradise and the bottomless pit of hell. In the 7th surah of the Quran, the 59th verse, listen, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Indeed, your Lord is Allah, who created the heavens and the earth in 6 periods, and then established himself above the throne which is above the waters and above what we call space. He covers the night with the day, causing another night to chase it rapidly. And then he created the sun and the moon and the stars, and he subjected them by his command. Unquestionably, his is the creation, and he is the only creator, and his is the command, and no one shares that command. Blessed is Allah, Lord of the worlds. He says, all praises are for Allah, who created the heavens and the earth and made the darkness and the light. Then those who disbelieve, they equate others with him while they have no power themselves. Then he decreed a term of life for them to exist. And then he gave them a specified time in which they will die and be destroyed. And that is all known to him. Then still, you are in doubt? In another place in the Quran, and certainly did we create man from an extract of clay, and then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging place called the womb. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators. Then indeed, after all of that, so certainly you shall die. Then indeed, on that day of resurrection, a day about which there is no doubt, you'll come forth and be judged. And he says again to us in the Quran, he brings the living out of the dead, and brings the dead out of the living, and brings to life the earth after its lifelessness, and thus will you be brought out from it. And of his signs is that he created you from dust, the dust of the earth. Then suddenly you were human beings, multiplying and dispersed through the earth. And of his signs is that he created you and created for you, for yourselves, mates, in order that you may find tranquility in them, husbands and wives. And he placed between you, that is, husbands and wives, affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for people who give thought. And of his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the diversity of your languages and your colors. Indeed, in that are signs for those who have knowledge. Let us ponder for a moment on these words from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and think for a moment about our beginning. Here in these verses, and mind you, these verses of the Quran are among 6,626 verses in its entirety that was revealed to a man who is illiterate, a man in the desert, a man who never sailed on the sea, a man who never entered a laboratory, who never looked into a stethoscope, a man who never looked into a microscope, a man who never looked into the heavens, who had no idea, a man who could not himself have made these claims. Claims so clear, so profound,